GTA home sellers have been forced to confront new market realities this spring. Sellers must navigate price cuts, lukewarm buyers, and mortgage pre-approval issues. All this from a recent article in the Financial Post that we will dive into today, as well as some March market numbers. We're almost near the end of the month. We're going to get into all of that in this video. Hey everybody, it's me, Rob Marsiglio, sales representative with Keller Williams Referred Urban Realty out here in Durham region. If you enjoy these kind of videos diving into what is happening in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I do something like this each and every week. Let's get right into this Financial Post piece. Home sellers are awakening to a new sobering reality as the spring real estate market blossoms into action. The era of frenzied bidding wars and soaring profits in urban centers appears to be receding, replaced by a landscape where they must navigate price cuts, lukewarm buyers, and mortgage pre-approval challenges. Sellers have for years held the reins, dictating the terms and watching their property values soar, but the tide is turning, and many are finding themselves grappling with a market that demands their expectations be recalibrated. And as promised, we will dive into some of those market numbers later on in the video. What does a market look like where sellers are having to recalibrate their expectations? Almost 60% of all homes sold in the Greater Toronto Area have sold below asking so far this year, according to real estate listing website house Sigma Inc., as of March 21st. About 54% of homes in the GTA sold below asking in 2023 compared to 45.4% in 2022, while in Vancouver, 71.8% of homes have sold below asking so far this year. And here's a great infographic put together by the Financial Post where you can see Toronto and the Greater Vancouver area both on that same trend, an increasing share of properties selling below asking since 2022 until now, whereas Calgary, saw maybe a bit of a spike last year, whereas through 21 days this year, it's less than 50% of properties that are selling for under asking. Now, as you know, in a lot of markets across the GTA, that asking price is a bit of an arbitrary number. It's more of a marketing tool to get people through the door, generate a lot of interest, hopefully multiple offers or favorable negotiating terms for your seller. But seeing that the number of properties selling below asking is increasing also indicates that, sellers are using that offer night strategy a little less potentially, or that it's not quite working out as they'd hoped. Instead, they are listing at or maybe above market value of their expectations, and buyers may be able to negotiate a little bit more. But what does a market in transition look like where sellers' expectations are having to be adjusted? As a bit of a refresher, here is kind of the usual seasonal pattern for new listings across the Greater Toronto Area. You can see things usually peak in May before falling off to August, peaking in September again, falling off into the end of the year. This year so far, we are trending to at least be roughly on that line, still increasing through March. We're not lagging too far behind on the listing side of things. While listings are trending pretty similar, on the sales side, it's a different story. You can see where we're at in March so far, at least where I'm projecting we'll be at, kind of around that 7,000 sale mark, is well below the average and the median numbers we'd see going back to 2008, which is closer to 9,000, 8,500 range. And this has a lot to do with what sellers are asking for their homes. They're kind of stuck in near zero rate mindset for what the value of their home is. And buyers just straight up do not have the capability to afford the prices that buyers are asking a lot of the time. I ran some numbers to try to project where we end up in terms of total sales this March. We'll also take a look at the sales to new listings ratio to see where we are compared to historical Marches, and then look at what markets are moving based on which price points. And I've broken that up between freehold and condo markets. So let's dive into all those numbers right now. First off, reported sales and my projection. Let me explain the method to my madness here. What I've done is I've tracked through the MLS the total number of sales that have occurred in every single March going back to 2008. Then I also take a look at how many sales occurred through 26 days in each March going back to 2008. I give this number as a percentage of the total, and then using our total number of sales in 2024 through 26 days, I've applied that median percentage to try and give us a projection as to where we end up. Again, if we're going to be kind of conservative and assume we've burned through kind of the high end of listings, we'd be below this number. And if we are kind of on the low end, like we saw in 2017, where we saw almost 25% of sales reported in the last 5 days of the month, we'll end up at a little bit higher number than where we're at right now. But again, using that median, we're actually just a smidge below where we ended up in 2023. In terms of the actual sales as a percentage of new listings, 2024 is still tracking to be kind of the loosest market, the most buyer-friendly market as a whole since 2018. And as you see, going back to 2008, we've only seen a lower SNLR 2 times. That'd be 2018 and 2009. So that just reaffirms those first 2 charts that I showed comparing where we're at now versus seasonal trends. still have a decent amount of people trying to list homes. Just people are not there to buy them, at least at the same frequency we've seen in previous years. Let's jump into similar numbers like this, but for the freehold and condo markets broken up and by the price points in those markets as well. Using that same method I just explained, we can see that 2024, I'm projecting just over 4,400 freehold sales that will be reported. This is by Treb Market Watch numbers. Relatively slow March still compared to every other March since 2008. You can see 2009, we had a slightly slower year. Last year was the slowest March that we've seen, according to the MLS reported sales, going back to 2008. When you look at it as sales as a percentage of new listings perspective, 2024 is probably on the lower side of average what you'd expect going back to 2008. On this price point breakdown, I've kind of compared where we're at in February to where we're at in March right now. You can see that the markets kind of sub $1.5 million have shifted slightly downwards. It's still in seller's market territory, under $1 million right across the GTA and that freehold market, right up against that seller's market territory under 1.25. You get into kind of truer balanced market territory, sub 1.5 million. Again, this is speaking in generalities for the entire GTA. Sub $1.5 million market in Toronto is going to be a lot busier than in a market like Durham region right now. When you get into the over $2 million market, you can see that the market has tightened up a little bit, still in technical buyer's market territory though. If the total number of sales will be about even from where we were last March, and we know that freehold sales are projected to be up a little bit, it must be condo numbers that are coming in a little low compared to 2023. I covered that all in last week's video, which you can find right up here in the corner. And these are how things are shaking down so far. So through 26 days, we have just over 2,100 sales reported on the MLS in March. Using this median percentage going back to 2008, we're projected to be just over 2,500 reported sales in the condo market across the GTA. And that'd be the lowest number since 2014. When we take a look at where we're at with our sales as a percentage of new listings now through 26 days, just over 43% in 2024. Again, that's the lowest total since going back to 2009. While there were a couple freehold price points across the GTA that were still in seller's market territory based on sales as a percentage of new listings, you can see that on the condo side, we are firmly in balanced to buyer's market territory. And the more expensive the price point gets, the more heavily the market is favored towards buyers by this metric. That's where we sit through 26 days in March of 2024. Again, we're coming up to the Easter long weekend, so I'm not expecting too many sales to be reported from Good Friday, which is the 29th, right through to Easter Sunday, which is the 31st. It's going to be 3 pretty slow days instead of reported sales. So I'm fairly confident in this projection that I made that it's going to be flat. And maybe, if anything, on the low side of that flat number is what I would be projecting just based on how things are going to play out for the rest of the week. I think after the Easter long weekend, we will see some more listing inventory come to market. We may even see a little bit of an uptick in terminations and expiries, followed by some relists after that Easter weekend, trying to catch buyers that are just getting their search started in the true spring market starting in April. Again, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the numbers, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I do something like this every single week. I really do appreciate you sticking with me right through to the end of the video. Until we speak again next time, please stay safe and cheers.